Welcome back to Big Mouth on this Christmas Day, and fancy seeing you here, and a very, very Merry Christmas to you all. Now on Christmas Day, any YouTuber will tell you they weigh up whether they should do a video on Christmas Day or leave their subscribers in peace. But I've just seen a piece on the Hollywood Reporter. Now Karen Gillan has been talking about the female doctor. Now, I haven't read this article first, but I know it's a triggering article. I know it won't be flattering to anyone like me who doesn't like season 11 and who hasn't walked to the 13th Doctor. So, let's have a look at this. Actress Karen Gillan on the crazy resistance to a female Doctor Who guest column. Right, this is going to be fun. As part of the Hollywood Reporter's year End Rule Breakers issue, the Avengers star who played a Doctor Who companion, Amy Pond, from 2008 till 13 dissects why there was pushback on a female lead and how Jodie Whittaker knocked it out of the park with her performance. This is going to be hilarious. Are you ready? You can't grow up in the UK and not be aware of Doctor Who. You're particularly born knowing what a Dalek is, but whenever there have been rumours about Doctor Who being played by a woman, there was resistance. People would write to the BBC and complain. I thought it was crazy. Who says Doctor Who can't be a woman? So when I watched this season's premiere with my mum, right, this is funny, right? Karen Gillan's a Scot, and she's just said mom, right? Oh, the gift that keeps on giving. She's a huge Whoivan. Of course she is. Even before I was on the show, it was emotional. Bullshit. Jodie Whittaker knocked it out of the park. She has elements of Matt Smith and David Tennant. That manic energy, brain going 100 miles an hour, but she made it her own. Really? And that's the great thing about the role. It has no limits. It can be played by any race or any gender. All you need is a great actor, a great British actor, or one who can do a convincing British accent. Karen Gillan stars as Nebula in the Guardians of the Galaxy Adventures franchise and played Amy Pond, a Doctor Who companion from 2008 to 2013. That's it. That's the whole article. That's all she had to say. It's do you know what? I'm going to pause this to make sure I haven't missed anything, because we've got to talk about this. This is really funny. So, yes, that's it from that article. So, Jodie Whittaker, according to Karen Gillan, knocked it out of the park. It's amazing, right? What is so insincere about this article? It's so short. Now, anyone who knows anything about the Hollywood Reporter, they're very SJW, but not on everything. They're mostly on female gender representation. They are obsessed with it. So this was an opportunity for them to say something about the resistance to a female doctor, the resistance to this doctor. This doctor has not knocked it out of the park. She's been a terrible, bland, boring, dull doctor who's done nothing but read her sonic screwdriver. And Jodie, if your mother truly was a Doctor Who fan, she wouldn't be enjoying that anyway. So first of all, Karen, I don't believe your mum's a true Doctor Who fan, right? I don't believe you give a shit about Doctor Who. And you call the character Doctor Who. So that just sums you up. You're not a fan. You're insincere. Let me explain to you about Karen Gillan. Karen's done very well for herself. She's just recently directed her own film, right? Yes. Now, she is part of the Hollywood establishment now, the SJW propaganda, and she's there to push that train forward. And of course, whether she thinks Jodie is a good doctor or not, she's just going to say she is a good doctor to forward that narrative. You know what? You can't trust these people. You really can't. But seeing how short this article is just tells me how unconvincing her argument is, because she doesn't have an argument. Let's go back to this article. She talks about people writing letters So it's because they didn't want a female doctor. And she couldn't understand it. Why couldn't a woman play the doctor? Well, Karen, it's not so much that a woman shouldn't play the doctor. It's this woman playing the doctor. And yeah, I didn't want a female doctor, but I wasn't passionately against it. And once it was obvious it was going to happen, I just wanted someone who could do the role justice. Jodie Whittaker has not done this role justice. And it just proves to me, Karen, that you use Doctor Who as a means to an end. You do not care about this show. You did well in the show. I didn't particularly like your character, by the way, but you did well in the show. Your performances were fantastic. But at the end of the day, Doctor Who means jack shit to you. Because if you believe this person, forget calling her a woman, this person is a good doctor, then you're clearly not telling the truth. Give me any other female and they would have done a great job. There was some great female choices that we could have had and we didn't have that. No, Karen, we got this. You and I know that Jodie Whittaker isn't a great doctor. Whatever you say in your little think piece, how much were you paid? How much were you paid to do that? Because let's be honest, you were paid, wasn't you? You was, right? To forward this agenda. See, Karen, I'm going to talk to you straight. It's not about the gender of the doctor. It's about doing the character justice. And this showrunner and this actor have not done this character justice. You know that, and I know that. So for you to do this little guest article where you barely say anything, there's not even an argument there. As I said before, there's no argument in what you're saying. There's no logic in what you're saying. She knocked it out of the park. No, she didn't. Or did you just watch the season premiere? I don't think you watched the full season, did you, Karen? No, you watched the season premiere. And you know what? I'll take a step back, Karen, because that's the episode you watched. And actually, the script was, and her performance was very Doctor Who-like in the season premiere. And it was very promising. But as we went from episode 2 to episode 3 to episode 4, we backtracked from that. She wasn't doing any of that anymore. It went a different, more bland, mediocre direction. Now, you may not know that because you haven't watched the whole of this season, have you, Karen? Because you're not really a Doctor Who fan. You couldn't give a toss about Doctor Who. So please, don't go on these big kind of, whatever you want to call it, a site, a magazine, whatever the Hollywood Reporter is, right? And start spewing your garbage, because at the end of the day, you can only form an opinion if you've seen the whole piece of work, and you haven't, Karen, have you? You haven't. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's very sad that you people can't accept something, that it doesn't matter what you say, because, Karen, you people live in a bubble, right? And you're untouchable. Your bubble's up there, we're down here. You'll say your words because you know, really, even if we do reply to you, you're either going to stick your finger up at us or you're just going to ignore us, right? But the reality is, Doctor Who Season 11, Karen, is a failure. A failure. Not a ratings failure, but a creative failure. And that is the biggest failure of all. No one's buying the 13th Doctor doll. Nobody's pre-ordering the box sets, and it's all right talking on Twitter, but the point is, us the Doctor Who fans have been funding this show for years, certainly since the revival, and been making it a lot of money for the BBC. We're not doing that now because it's no good. We are disillusioned with this show, and we are the most important aspect of this show, the fans. And please, I mean, she obviously didn't kind of focus on men too much, but these people won't accept that as many female fans as male fans, maybe more, don't like this Doctor and not enjoying the last season. So it's very funny, to be honest with you. So, of course, this time next week, we'll be a bit hungover and we'll be looking forward to this Christmas special, Resolution. That's original for a New Year's Day episode, right? So, again, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. The evidence will be, has Chibnall learnt his lesson from season 11, or is this more of the same? Was this filmed straight after season 11, or did they go back, as I suspect, and squeeze the Daleks in because season 11 had divided people so much, and it's put them in trouble. They're not going to make a profit on this. So it's very interesting. So what do I truly think of Karen Gillan's article? Well, it's not really an article. It seems like someone's quickly jotted a few things down. Someone who's kind of been forced into it to do something, been given a bit of green, and then she goes on her merry way. She'll never think of that again. So basically what I think is that Karen Gillan knows what I know, that season 11 isn't very good, and this 13th Doctor is the worst Doctor because she's boring and she's mediocre, and it totally isn't the Doctor in any way. Now, I don't mind if it's a totally different interpretation to the character, but the problem is it's a boring version of the character, and that, my friends, is where the problem lies.